All right, good morning. We're going to create a video today for PopArt assignment number 1. You should be looking at this handout right here, assignment number 1 PopArt. And we're going to walk through this step by step so that you can have a successful PopArt assignment. Here we go. The first thing I need to do is I need to open Photoshop. I'm going to go to my Start menu at the bottom, and I'm going to locate Adobe Photoshop. You have a couple of ways to do that. You can go to the Adobe Master Selection CS6 in the menu and find Photoshop. Or you can just type in Photoshop and find the correct application. You're going to give it a second to open. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open the image that we've chosen to Photoshop today for our PopArt assignment. To do that, I'm going to go to File, Open. I'm going to go to my folder, and I'm going to find the image that I want to use. In this case, I've chosen this photo of a wooden donkey pulling a cart with flowers and a couple of other things going on in the image. The first thing I need to do is I need to crop my image. So to do that, I'm going to go to my toolbar on the left side, and I'm going to go to the crop tool. I'm going to select the crop tool, and I'm going to change the dimensions so that my image is 2 by 2 inches. Now you can see mine's already done that. I've already done that on mine before. And I have an opportunity to move my image around so that I capture exactly what I want to in that 2 by 2 square. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to select the green check mark. Well, it's not green yet, but I'm going to say commit current crop operation. I'm going to select that. So now my image is 2 by 2. I want to double check that I'm working in inches, not pixels. So I'm going to go to my image, up to image at the top, and select image size. And you can see that that didn't exactly happen, but it did crop so it's a perfect square. So I'm going to change my document size 2 inches by 2 inches, and I'm going to change my resolution to 300 pixels per inch. Once I've made that change, I'm going to select OK, and it's going to shrink it down so it's 2 inches by 2 inches, and I'm going to save this document. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to save it for myself right now. I'm just going to save it on the desktop. For you, I would encourage you to save it in a folder that you've named for yourself. I'm going to call it cropped, and I'm going to make sure it's a Photoshop document. So it should be cropped.psd. And you can see I can change the format. There's a lot of different formats you can save as. But right now, because I'm creating a Photoshop document, I'm going to save it as such. Select Save. And now we're going to open a new file. And this is going to be the file that we're going to create our PopArt in. So I'm going to go to File, New. And you can see I've already created a custom setting for myself. But if you can just go ahead and select width 6 inches, height 6 inches, change the resolution to 300 pixels per inch, the same exact resolution that we used for our image. And again, just make sure all your settings look like this. Once you've done that, select OK, and it'll open this new document. If you don't see your rulers, you can find your rulers in the View section. You want to make sure there's a check mark next to rulers. In addition, while you're there, please make sure there's also a check mark next to Snap. That's going to help you a lot when you bring your images into this document. Okay, so I've got a check mark next to rulers and a check mark next to Snap. Using the Move tool, so make sure that you select the Move tool. It's up here at the very top left. You're going to position your cursor on the inside edge of the ruler on the left side of your document. We're going to use our Move tool to create a guideline. So you can see I'm dragging my guideline out onto my screen. I'm going to set it right at 2 inches because the image I sent was 2 by 2. And I'm going to release my mouse. So again, to do this, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to set another guideline at 4 inches now. I'm going to click on the left hand, click on my mouse. I'm going to drag in, set it at 4 inches, and release. I'm going to do the same thing on the horizontal axis, right? By grabbing up here in the ruler, and I'm going to drag down to 2 inches. So you can see I'm creating 9 2-inch by 2-inch squares. All right, let's run some work with this. Let's save this also. We're going to name this as grid. And we're going to make sure that it's a PSD Photoshop document by going to Format, PSD. Go ahead and save that, and we're ready to move on. The next thing I want to do is I want to be able to see both of my images in the same window. So I'm going to go to Window, Arrange, and then Float All in Windows. And I'm able to see my cropped photo and the Photoshop document that I just set up. I'm going to click on my cropped PSD file, make it the active window, and again, making sure I'm using my Move tool, I'm going to click on the image and drag it into grid.psd. Now, if you ever make a mistake or you need to go back a step, just go ahead and you can hold down Control, push Z, and it'll take you to the last step. If your snap guidelines are activated, you can see the image just snaps easily into place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my crop PSD file, and I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to do that 9 times. Okay, so I'm going to drag here into my top right corner, and I'll continue doing that until all of my squares are filled. And again, you can see how it's easy for me to place them because I have the snap guideline on. And so my image pretty much falls right into the correct place, which is nice and makes my job nice and easy right now. You can see that every time I dragged an image in, it created a new layer for me. We really want to make sure that it's easy to know which layer we're working with. So I'm going to rename my layers really quickly. It'll make your life a lot easier so you don't get confused, especially because you're going to have to tell me in your final project what filters you used. So please make some notes as you complete this assignment on what filters you're using for each. All right, so we're ready for the next step. Now we're going to start adding filters. The first thing we need to do, we'll start here in the bottom right. I'm going to click here, I'm going to go to filter, and I need to convert for smart filters, right? Once I've converted all of mine for smart filters, then I can go to my filter gallery and I can start adding filters. You'll know that it's been converted to a smart filter because they'll get this icon here in the bottom right hand corner. of that layer. All right, let's start with the bottom right. I'm gonna go to filter. I'm gonna choose filter gallery, right? And you can see I've got a lot of different options. I can expand each one so I know exactly what options I have. And I'm gonna move pretty quickly. I'm just gonna select some. I just wanna show you that you have the opportunity when you choose these, you can increase the square size or decrease the square size, right? You can add different like textures even within the filter, right? And then, oops, didn't want to do that. I'm gonna go back to patchwork. And I can select OK. And for right now, I'm only going to add one filter to each, but you can add multiple filters to each one. So let's just go back. Let's see if I oil paint it. I can have a little bit of fun here. You can see like the swirls. Change the lighting. So that looks kind of neat to me. So I'm going to select OK. So there's that. Bottom left, filter. Maybe this time I'll choose something that's a little bit more black and white. It's kind of fun. Select OK. I'm going to do my center one because I already know what I want to select there. I'm going to go to filter gallery. And so you can get an idea of like what you're going to be doing for each of the images on your document. Again, when you're each time that you're adding a smart filter, I'm going to ask you to create a written record telling me like what filter you applied on each layer. If you're not sure, you can always go back and you can see whether you put oil painting, right, or in this case like stamp and so on and so forth. You can double click and it'll bring you back to the filter gallery. All right, so the next thing we need to do is once you've finished with all of your images, you've applied a filter on every single one. So you're going to put a filter on every single one. We're going to make sure that we're selected in the layers panel. We're going to go to the far right and we're going to flatten our image. Okay, this is after you've applied a filter on every single image. Okay, I'll flatten it and that'll put it all on one layer. Now you can see it's all on one layer. And then the last step is going to be I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Save for Web. Okay, and when I save it for the web, all right, so we're going to make sure that our presets are correct. We want to make sure that we're clicked on 4up. You want to make sure that your preset is JPEG high. You want to save it as a JPEG, right? With high quality, the quality is going to be 60. And we're going to select optimized. Make sure that this checkbox for convert to RGB is selected. change your image size because we're going to save to the web. So we don't want it to be a huge file. We're going to change the width of our image to be 600 pixels. You'll never change the height if you do this for a different assignment because they're automatically linked together. And then lastly, you'll select save. Right? You can make sure that when you save it, you can give it a final name. So I'm going to call this Ruben period C period PopArt. I'll hit save. And then this would be the document right here that I just saved. That'll be uploaded to the web. All right. Thank you very much. And that's it.